Hello, New York Yankees fans! Today we have a deep dive into one of the most talked about situations this offseason. Cody Bellinger's future with the team. The story has been dragging on for months. And with spring training almost upon us, the anticipation is reaching a fever pitch. Multiple reports have suggested that a decision is imminent, and insiders are expecting clarity within the week. It is hard to believe that the Yankees have dedicated virtually the entire offseason to trying to bring back one player, sending multiple proposals and negotiating tirelessly. The level of persistence has been extraordinary, and yet the answer remains uncertain. The complexity of these negotiations stems largely from the involvement of Scott Boras. For those unfamiliar, Boras does not allow teams to bypass him, which means that any discussions with Bellinger must go through his representation. It is a structured and sometimes frustrating process, but rules are rules, and no team can negotiate directly with the player without violating regulations. This adds a layer of difficulty to what might otherwise seem like a straightforward situation, as the Yankees have to ensure every move aligns with the agreed-upon negotiation process. Cody Bellinger, for his part, has yet to signal a firm commitment if he truly wanted to stay in New York under the terms the Yankees have offered. The contract would already be signed. The team proposed a substantial deal that includes opt-outs, which are player options, rather than team-controlled clauses. From a strategic perspective, this is a very fair arrangement, giving Bellinger flexibility while providing the Yankees with a strong commitment. The fact that an agreement has not yet been reached speaks volumes about the uncertainties surrounding his decision-making process and the evaluation of his career trajectory. The Yankees' investment in this negotiation has been significant over the course of the offseason. They have repeatedly extended proposals and demonstrated patience. Yet Bellinger's career has been notoriously up and down. His talent is undeniable. He possesses a high baseball IQ, excels at multiple positions, and has the capability to play both first base and the corners in the outfield. However, his inconsistency makes any long-term commitment a calculated risk. The team has to weigh the potential benefits against the inherent unpredictability of his performance, which has varied dramatically from season to season. Comparisons with other players highlight the unique nature of this situation. Bellinger's performance, while occasionally outstanding, does not consistently match the output of players who have secured long-term deals. In some recent seasons, his offensive numbers have fluctuated, and while there have been standout years, there have also been periods where his contributions were below expectations. This volatility makes it difficult for management to justify an extended contract that exceeds reasonable projections, especially when alternative options are available on the trade market or within the organization's farm system. If Bellinger were to accept a short-term deal with another team, such as the Mets, it would carry an implicit message regarding his intentions and loyalty. The Yankees have offered a 5-year commitment, and the optics of him taking a short arrangement elsewhere could be interpreted as a rejection of that long-term vision. The team has already invested heavily in bringing him back, absorbing part of his salary from previous arrangements, and accommodating his financial expectations to a degree that demonstrates good faith and generosity. This makes the ongoing uncertainty all the more frustrating from a managerial perspective. From a strategic standpoint, the Yankees also have contingency plans in motion if negotiations with Bellinger do not conclude favorably. The team is prepared to explore the trade market and pursue alternative options that could bolster the roster. The goal is to maintain flexibility and avoid being tied to a single outcome, especially in light of the financial and performance risks associated with a high-profile, high-variance player. The front office must balance ambition with prudence, ensuring that any roster decisions enhance competitiveness without overcommitting resources to an unpredictable asset. Beyond the financial and logistical considerations, there is also a human element at play. Bellinger's decisions impact not only the organization, but the clubhouse dynamics and team chemistry. Players, coaches, and fans alike are invested in the outcome, and extended uncertainty can have subtle effects on morale and focus. The Yankees have demonstrated patience and professionalism throughout this process, making concessions and structuring offers that reflect both respect for Bellinger's talents and a commitment to the team's long-term goals. How the player responds to this approach will define the next chapter of the franchise's roster management. The situation also underscores the challenges of managing elite talent in modern baseball. High-profile players come with elevated expectations and complex contractual negotiations. often requiring months of discussion and meticulous attention to detail. For teams like the Yankees, who operate under intense scrutiny and carry substantial financial obligations, every decision is magnified. Balancing the desire to retain top performers with the need to safeguard organizational stability is a delicate art, one that requires foresight, negotiation skills, and sometimes a willingness to walk away if the terms do not align with long-term objectives. Analysts and fans alike have debated the merits of offering extended contracts versus pursuing short-term arrangements. Bellinger's case exemplifies the tensions inherent in these decisions. His skill set is versatile, providing defensive coverage across multiple positions and contributing offensively when in form. Yet, the inconsistencies in his production mean that a guaranteed long-term contract involves risk. The Yankees' offer reflects a compromise between maximizing his talents and mitigating exposure to potential performance declines, attempting to secure value while recognizing the uncertainties. Meanwhile, the window for resolution narrows, with spring training approaching. The Yankees need clarity to finalize their roster and prepare for the grueling season ahead. The extended deliberations have tested patience, and the organization must weigh the benefits of continued pursuit against the necessity of exploring alternative strategies. Trade options, minor league promotions, and positional adjustments are all viable paths, but the preferred outcome remains securing Bellinger's commitment. Every day that passes without a decision adds pressure on both sides, intensifying the stakes as the season draws closer. Throughout this process, the narrative surrounding Cody Bellinger has captivated fans and pundits alike. His potential impact on the Yankees is undeniable, and the debates over contract terms, team fit, and career trajectory have fueled extensive discussion. The combination of his talent, the financial implications, and the procedural complexity of dealing with Scott Boras has created a high-profile saga that reflects broader trends in baseball negotiations. Teams and players must navigate these waters carefully, balancing ambition, fairness, and strategy to arrive at outcomes that satisfy both parties. At the same time, the Yankees are preparing for contingencies. Discussions regarding potential trade partners are ongoing, and the organization is exploring options to ensure that roster depth and competitiveness remain intact. Regardless of Bellinger's decision, flexibility and adaptability are key, as management must be ready to pivot quickly if the player opts for a short-term deal elsewhere. Evaluating alternatives and potential fits within the lineup and outfield coverage is a priority, ensuring that any shift in plans does not compromise the team's overall performance objectives. As the offseason progresses, the uncertainty around Cody Bellinger continues to dominate headlines. But the Yankees are not standing still. Behind the scenes, the front office has been evaluating multiple scenarios to ensure the team remains competitive. They have been carefully analyzing the trade market, considering not just who is available, but who can realistically improve the roster without overpaying or creating positional imbalances. Flexibility has become the guiding principle, as the team must remain agile whether Bellinger decides to stay or opts for another opportunity. One of the critical elements in this situation is the comparison of Bellinger's performance to other players on the market. While he has demonstrated moments of brilliance, his overall career trajectory has been inconsistent. Some seasons have been marked by offensive slumps or defensive challenges, while others have showcased his ability to deliver under pressure. For the Yankees, the key question is whether the highs outweigh the lows enough to justify a long-term commitment. It is a balancing act that requires careful analysis, and the organization has been meticulous in weighing every metric. The complexity of Bellinger's negotiation is compounded by the intricacies of Major League Baseball. Contracts, player options, opt-outs, guaranteed money, and team-controlled clauses all play into the decision-making process. The Yankees' offer has been structured to provide a generous level of security while also accommodating flexibility, reflecting both respect for the player's abilities and a desire to safeguard the team's resources. Despite this, the negotiation process has been drawn out, highlighting the delicate interplay between ambition and prudence in professional baseball. For Bellinger, the decision carries implications far beyond immediate financial gain. Choosing a short-term deal with another team could be seen as a statement about his preference for flexibility and the desire to test the market annually. Conversely, committing to the Yankees for an extended term would signal stability and a willingness to invest in long-term team success. Each path carries trade-offs, and the timing of the decision adds pressure. As spring training looms and the roster must be finalized, the Yankees have shown patience, But the clock is ticking, and the organization cannot afford indefinite uncertainty. From a roster-building perspective, the Yankees have been exploring creative solutions. Outfield depth, in particular, has been a focus. With several young players showing potential to contribute meaningfully, the organization is evaluating matchups, platoon possibilities, and defensive alignments to maximize overall team efficiency. Players such as Luis Robert, who can platoon effectively against left-handed pitching, and other versatile outfielders provide options that allow the Yankees to maintain a competitive edge even if Bellinger chooses a different path. The goal is to ensure that the team is not overly reliant on any single player, while still leveraging talent strategically. At the same time, the financial landscape cannot be ignored. The Yankees operate under constraints imposed by payroll considerations and the luxury tax, which influences every decision at the top of the roster. Committing to a high-value, long-term contract for a player with fluctuating performance presents a risk, and the front office must balance ambition with fiscal responsibility. Offers that are too aggressive on short-term deals could disrupt financial flexibility and limit opportunities to pursue other key acquisitions. This financial prudence is part of the broader strategy to maintain competitiveness over multiple seasons. Not just in the immediate term, the emotional and cultural aspects of retaining Bellinger are also part of the discussion. His presence in the clubhouse, the relationships with teammates, and the connection to fans all contribute to the intangible value he brings to the team. However, these factors must be weighed against performance metrics and long-term projections. The Yankees have demonstrated that they value consistency and reliability alongside talent, making it clear that any deal must satisfy both the strategic and human components of roster management. The balance between loyalty and pragmatism is delicate and essential to successful decision-making in evaluating Bellinger. Historical performance and projected future contribution intersect. His ability to impact games both offensively and defensively is undeniable, yet the inconsistencies remain a significant consideration. Metrics such as OPS, home runs, and defensive runs saved offer quantitative insight, but the interpretation of these numbers in the context of a high-stakes roster decision is complex. The Yankees have invested heavily in understanding these nuances, engaging analytics teams and scouts to provide a comprehensive picture of potential outcomes, ensuring that any commitment is data-driven and strategically sound. Trade options remain a critical contingency. The Yankees have been assessing potential partners, considering both the talent available and the financial implications of any exchange. A successful trade could fill positional gaps or provide depth, giving the team flexibility if Bellinger ultimately chooses not to re-sign. Identifying teams that are willing to engage on equitable terms without undermining the Yankees' competitive standing is a meticulous process, and the organization has been diligent in exploring every viable path to maintain roster strength. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the baseball world, whispers are swirling that the New York Yankees are preparing an unprecedented contract extension for Aaron Boone, the manager who has become both a lightning rod and a symbol of the franchise's ambitions. Sources close to the team suggest that the Yankees are considering an offer rumored to be as high as $600 million, a figure that would not only shatter managerial records but redefine how teams invest in leadership at the highest level. Boone, a former Major League infielder whose 13-year playing career earned him respect across multiple clubs, has quietly transformed the Yankees' clubhouse culture, blending old-school discipline with a keen eye for analytics, a combination that seems to have captured the front office's imagination. The speculation comes amid intense scrutiny of Boone's future in the Bronx, where fan opinion has been as polarized as any in recent memory. Critics have questioned his in-game decisions and lineup strategies, while supporters insist that his ability to navigate a roster riddled with injuries and pressure cooker expectations deserves unprecedented backing, adding fuel to the rumor mill. Insiders hint that this potential offer is not merely a standard contract extension, but a statement by ownership. The Yankees are willing to gamble massive resources to ensure Boone remains at the helm through a new era of championship contention. Industry observers are pointing out that a $600 million deal would eclipse even the most lucrative player contracts in baseball history, raising eyebrows about how far franchises are willing to go to secure managerial stability. Could this be the start of a new trend, where elite managers are compensated not just as tacticians, but as long-term franchise architects? The Yankees have long been known for bold, headline-grabbing moves, from blockbuster trades to marquee free agent signings, but if true, this would mark a dramatic shift in the calculus of baseball economics. Meanwhile, Boone himself has remained characteristically composed, offering only cryptic comments about dedication, teamwork, and focus on the present season, fueling further speculation about how far negotiations have already progressed behind closed doors, with the league buzzing and media outlets clamoring for confirmation. One thing is clear: if the rumors hold any truth, Aaron Boone's next chapter could be unlike anything the sport has ever seen, transforming both his legacy and the way the baseball world perceives managerial worth. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.